Hi guys, so back in January when I did the Declutter January, is that what I called it? I said I was going to do the kitchen, and I did do bits in the kitchen, but I never got around to filming it. And that's always the problem with this kind of thing, is that I feel like it's a very much a seize the moment situation. When you're just like, if I'm in the zone, you got to get it done. And sometimes it's not convenient to film. And I kind of did that again with the kitchen this time, but there were other areas that I still need to do, and I thought I would walk you around what I did and the issues and the problem areas that we've been having since we lived here that I feel like I've solved. So I've moved this entire back wall around completely. This used to be in the corner over here, and the problem with putting anything in a corner that doesn't perfectly fit there is that it ends up, you put things on the top, they fall down the back, things around the side, it just ends up being kind of like a real dumping ground for little nooks and cranny pieces around the sides of things. And so I wanted to move it. I've moved it here. This was here already. I mean, this is just something that arrived today and I haven't put it away yet, but this was here already, but it was next to the coffee maker. It was all kind of in the corner, and it felt like, again, this became an area of when we got post and when I got things sent to me, it was always going here. There were always nail polishes and beauty products here that just didn't belong here. And so I wanted to make it less like that and less likely for us to do these things. And I feel like now this is the place that you come and make your drinks. If you want coffee, that's there. But if it's kind of soft drinks, you'll come here. The fridge and the freezer, so things like that you would need for like ice and stuff is here. It still all works for the way that I've put everything. Next, around this area, we used to get piles and piles of letters. So for example, this is something from the school. I used to get just any post that would come, it would just pile up, and eventually it'd kind of be like slotted slightly behind the toaster or behind the microwave, and it just never got dealt with. And some things you need to keep, some things you don't. So what I've ended up doing is clearing out one of these little cubby shelves. And to be fair, I could probably get rid of, there's like one thing in here that I would want to keep, like an old cooking book. Or a recipe book. Everything else, I don't need recipe books. We've got the internet, people. We don't need recipe books anymore. So I would want to keep that one because it's a really old one. Other than that, I would probably give them all away or like car boot them or something and just make more space. But I got rid of some stuff on this shelf and I've put this little thing in here. And so if we get any kind of post, we can just pull that out there, put in what we need to keep, throw away what we don't need to keep. And if someone says, have we had a letter, for example, we know where it is. So if I get a letter, Lee puts it in there and I'll be able to find it when I need it. I also keep my little thing on here that I created with the children. When you have to play Lego with the kids, why not make something that's actually useful? This is my iPhone holder for when I'm watching stuff in the kitchen. So I put that up there, and then I've got one thing, which is actually the, this is a form for school to say that Ella's going to be taking a little bit of time away from school, out of like in school time, because we're going on holiday outside of school holidays. But I don't really care about that because she's not doing, it's like 1 week just before the holidays and she's not doing like exams or anything yet. And we do get fines, so yay. So that's that. This will also go up there, and yeah, I also feel like maybe keys and things might be best up here so we're not losing stuff, because I'm never finding my keys, it's the worst. And that would probably solve that problem too. And I just generally feel like this area is already staying neater even for a few days that it's been like this than it has ever in the past year. Next, one other thing, we do not have a tremendous amount of plug sockets in here. We do have one that the coffee maker is plugged into and the toaster is plugged into, or is it oh no, can have the coffee plate, I think they've got the toaster and the microwave at the moment, and that plug there doesn't work. So there's always been kind of a bit of a problem and lots of wires around that area, and that's where I used to plug in my charger, and it used to be forever like just tangled up. So now what I've done, I mean I have plugged it in over here for now anyway for today, but now what I've done is I've actually created this drawer which has got any kind of wire stuff in it that is used on a day-to-day basis. So we're not putting things in here for them to live for the rest of their lives, but kind of headphones, in case someone needs a pair of headphones, they're in here. Current cameras that I'm using and batteries and things, and any specific information that we need. So we've got things like birth certificates, passports, all kinds of stuff in this drawer and nothing else. This is not a junk drawer. This is a very specific use drawer. This is the junk drawer, and this is what I'm going to be tackling today. This drawer has been super useful, and some of the clutter that has been on the sides in the kitchen for a long time, this has really, really helped with that. And today I'm going to go through this because this has just been, like, seriously, I don't even know what this drawer is anymore. It's a real jumble of things, and some of this stuff just needs to be thrown away. I bought these, I want to say more than a year ago, and then last Halloween I forgot to use them, And when am I going to use them? I don't know. So I'm going to go through and throw some stuff away and hopefully reorganize. I've also got this cupboard under here, which is just absolutely stuffed full of stuff, and we don't need all of these things either. I've got things way in the corner of this cupboard that I haven't even gotten into since we moved in. We basically put it in there and it never came back out again. So I'm going to hopefully get rid of a ton of stuff in there. So my drawer now looks like this. I don't need pizza menus. Pizza menus, again, superfluous now because we have everything online anyway. We could look up a menu online. We could probably order it online. You really don't need the menu anymore. You can definitely find the coupon codes that they're sending you. And if you can't, cut that bit off and keep that. You don't need to keep 50 menus. So now I just have the basics of what I actually need in here. The stuff that I've taken out that is gonna get put somewhere else. All of this I feel like could go in our tool kit. So paintbrushes, I don't really know. I don't feel like they have a home elsewhere. So they're gonna go in the toolkit, no one else. This, again, with the paint kind of family. I have no idea what this is. This is a scary instrument of torture. I do not know what it was doing in that drawer, and I don't know where we got it from. It's a little bit scary. So that's also going in the toolkit. That's pretty much it for today. I would only say one other thing. I found these jars in Asda a year or so ago. I think it was about a year ago, and they were super sale, and I absolutely love them, and I have had so many compliments on them. This is the thing for my camera that I'm using right now, and I really love them. But I also had these, which were from Nigella Lawson's range about 10 years ago in Debenhams, and I've been using these for years. They're a bit of a pain, actually. The things kept falling off them. There was nothing wrong with them, but they were always a bit more awkward to use, but they were beautiful, and I didn't want to get rid of them. And I found myself saying to Lee the other day when he said, when we move, what are we keeping? And I said, well, you know, if there's space, I'd like to keep these. They're really nice. And he said, yeah, these are my favourite ones. So are we getting rid of those ones? And I said, well, you can't get rid of those ones. They're Nigella Lawson. And I thought, I'm completely going against everything that I'm saying in these videos and to my mom when we're talking about decluttering, that you shouldn't just keep hold of something because you think it was expensive or you liked it at the time. It served its purpose and it's time to move on. So at that point, that's when you would think about maybe you could sell it on eBay, you could give it away, or potentially car boot sale. And that's probably what I'm gonna do. Again, things like candles, things that I potentially would hold on to for a really long time. If you used half of it, you feel like you're not going to use the rest of it, there's no one that wants it, get rid of it. It's too much stuff in your house. That's how I feel about it now. And although I only did this in January, already I'm finding places that it's kind of crept back, the clutter. So this is not a one-stop job at all. Someone commented on one of the videos I did earlier in the week and said something like, so doing it in January was completely pointless then because I'm doing it again now. Decluttering is not a one-time job. It's not something you're going to do once and then it's you forever. If you are someone that collects a lot of things and hoards a lot of things and things come into your house, unless nothing else new ever comes into your house, then it's always going to be a constant thing that you need to continually check up on and make sure that you're not accumulating hordes and hordes of clutter. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that kitchen's laid out now. I'm really happy with the way that things are. And I completely forgot about the pans. Okay, to say this is massively neglected would be an understatement because when I actually go through the stuff, I'm getting rid of like most of the cupboard. Like if you look at the cupboard now, it needs cleaning out for sure. But this is the only thing that's in, this goes way back. It's just got some baking trays and the colander, and then I've got some things for, you know, like baking tins and stuff, and then everything's just so much easier to get to. Everything has a place. Like I say, I need to get everything out there and clean it after I've done this, but this is all the stuff that I'm getting rid of. And again, the more we think about kind of how much stuff it's going to be, I think potentially we are going to do some kind of car boot sale situation. And stuff like this is brand new. This was given to me as a gift, and it's something that normally you feel like you have to hold on to because it was a present. But if you're never ever going to use it, it's just another appliance that's taking up space in my tiny kitchen. An ice cream maker that's maybe been used once. This is a stack of cake tins that I bought to make my mum's 50th birthday cake 6 years ago. I never used again. Yeah, huge amount of space that was taking up for like one cake I made once. This is a pan. There's a funny story behind this pan. I told Lee that I needed a new pan and he bought me this pan, and it was not a joke. Lee is not a cook. I mean, I'm not a cook, but come on now. It's a milk pan, and it doesn't even like, oh no, oh it does. I was gonna say it doesn't even stand up. Every time I put it down, it's like Seriously. So that's just going to go. I've had that for years and it's just like a comedy pan. These really, really old baking trays need to go. I've got this blender that I've had for 10 years and very, very rarely have used because I have a hand blender that I use all the time. And then this is actually a milkshake maker that I got a couple of years ago as a gift as well. But because I have the little frother thing that I use for my coffee, which I will show you, this, it's basically just exactly the same thing. And look how little difference, or how much difference there is in the space that it takes up. So I don't need this huge thing just to make milkshakes, which is a rare thing that I actually do. And then this I have, which is supposed to be for chips and dips. And I think it's possible I've never used it. So all of this stuff is leaving my house. And there you go, I almost forgot about that cupboard. Yeah, it's just, especially when you're living in a small space, this is the smallest kitchen in the world. I mean, like, this is it. This is the entire kitchen. It's tiny and the storage is really, really limited. I can't just be holding on to things that I don't actually need and use. And obviously it's going to be even more so. We're going to move into a house with a bigger kitchen, but we're going to be pooling all of our things and my mum will have 3 times as much stuff as I have and we don't need all of the same stuff. So I think that at this point I'm really only holding on to the stuff that I really, really love or I use on a really regular basis. So that's it for this episode of the spring cleaning series. I hope you're enjoying it so far. I don't know where I'm going to move on to next. I think maybe I might take you around the living room and show you where we have eliminated clutter because there's really nothing to do in there now. I'm pretty good at keeping the surfaces clean. I think a lot of the times that is the big thing, to start with as clear surfaces as possible. We used to have a lot of stuff out, kind of decorative stuff in our old house, and when we moved here, a lot less stuff. And I think that if you tend to be untidy like me, then if you start with cluttered surfaces, as soon as a few extra things are added to that, it looks really, really messy. And you never really feel like everything's cleared off because there are still those like little tchotchke things. But yeah, that's it for today's video and I will see you guys tomorrow for more. Bye!